Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we're going to talk about why you watch the news. Why do you watch the news? For some, it's probably just entertainment. They have chosen to be spectators in the world. But for most people, if you ask them that question, they'll say, to stay informed. Why? Why do you want to stay informed? Is it information for information's sake? Or is it the hope that being better informed makes you capable of making better decisions? So you want actionable information, right? You want information that pertains to you, that can help you make better decisions in your life, right? I mean, accurate information is great, but if there's no context to help it be applied, it really doesn't do much good. So the question then becomes, what happens if your news outlet, the one that you watch or favor, doesn't help with that? It doesn't actually provide you that. What if it's a news source that's constantly debunked because they start off with some very dramatic headline and then they constantly have to walk it back? Does that help you stay better informed? No, because you're misled. That dramatic headline in that huge story, breaking news, bombshell report, that most times doesn't really turn out to be that big of a deal. It's not actionable because it's not accurate. It's misleading you for the sake of ratings. So those outlets that publish bombshell reports on the daily, and they're normally kind of debunked or they're downgraded as time goes on, they're pretty much worthless. They're not actually helping you stay informed. Not in the way you want to be informed. Not in the way you want to be informed, because that's the other part about it. You can be informed incorrectly. And a lot of outlets do that. A lot of outlets publish stuff they know isn't true. And then sometimes they lack context. And then that in and of itself makes it not actionable. You can't use that information to make better decisions. Perfect example right now. Biden's supply chain issues. What? I mean, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Sure, there are supply chain issues under Biden, but trying to assign ownership of them to Biden kind of removes all of the context. Because the first time I have the term supply chain in a video on this channel, and we know how I title my videos, is April of 2020. And in that video, I'm talking about how we'd been talking about it. Supply chain issues started in late 2019, early 2020. Trying to assign ownership, removing that context, that's not news. That's not keeping you informed. That's propaganda. That's there to change the way you feel, not inform you so you can make your own decisions. If you get good information, you're prepared for what's coming. You can see the future. You know what's coming down the road. Actually, I'm going to put that video down below, because in it talks about the America First strategy of avoiding supply chain issues by bringing all production home and just relying on production here, because then we wouldn't have these issues. And I provide the context in that video that if we do that, and that's how we set everything up, it won't take a global pandemic to create supply chain issues. It could be a localized issue at one facility that shuts that facility down, and then we have shortages all over the country. How's your baby formula doing? That's what providing context can do. that news outlets that produce content that intentionally removes context, they're not news outlets. They're propaganda outlets. They're there to influence you, not inform you. If somebody is trying to influence you, they don't want you informed. They want you misinformed. How do you feel when you get done watching your favorite news outlet? If you just feel helpless, you feel afraid, you're not watching a news outlet. Because information, being better informed about something, should remove fear. People fear the unknown. News should be calming to a degree. Even if it's bad news, at least you know what's happening, right? So if at the end of every monologue put out by some network news host, you're angry, you're afraid, you're worried that somebody's going to take over, are you being fed news or are you being fed propaganda? And then you have those that don't even pretend to inform. They just ask questions of their audience. They ask questions in a leading way to elicit an emotion, to influence. And if they're influencing you, they don't want you informed. They don't want you to have context. Most of the pundits who go around just asking questions, they're intentionally leaving out context. They're intentionally misleading their viewers because most times the questions that they're asking, they have answers. Most questions do, and most times they're easy to find. But if they answer them, and they answer them truthfully, well, that undermines their narrative. So what they want to do is ask a question. That way they're legally shielded. They didn't lie. They didn't put out false information. They're just asking questions. So they ask that question in a leading way, removing the context, and allow you to draw your own conclusion, knowing that you don't have the context. So then they can shape and influence how you feel, and they're not legally responsible for it. The news outlets that people consume, they greatly influence the way they behave. They influence the quality of life that they have. Those who consume outlets that provide context, that provide actionable information, they're less afraid. They're better prepared. They make better decisions. They lead a better life. It's time to start asking, why am I watching this particular news outlet? And if it isn't making your life better, it isn't providing you the information you need to actually make decisions in your life, if it's just leaving you angry and scared, you should probably stop watching them. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.